Brilliant. Well, get started. Dive straight in, basically. Thank you, David, for taking the time to speak with us. How is everything in Havok camp right now?
We're all good and healthy, but waiting to find out what's going to happen with the touring season.
Yeah.
Obviously we're in the same boat as pretty much every other touring artist.
I mean, it's kind of more for the end of the year for you guys more than anything else, right? Because obviously we're still kind of waiting for the new album to be released. Is that still the prominent thought in your head?
Yeah, the album's coming out May 1st, but we were planning on touring in May, in June, and then going to Europe in July, August. But those plans are all kind of in the air right now.
Everything's just kind of on hold, really, I guess, where you're just kind of waiting to see what happens.
Exactly.
And how are you and the rest of the band, I guess, and your families and stuff? How are you guys doing with this current crisis?
Sitting around and scratching our head, wondering when stuff is going to change. Things seem to be changing a lot every day, and updates are happening constantly. So we're all just kind of sitting around, wondering what's going to happen next, and trying to keep our eyes out and ears open for information that may be relevant to our situation.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
That's about all we can do at this point.
Yeah, you're kind of stuck, really. It's a really difficult thought process as well, where you literally just, okay, tomorrow it could be not completely different, but wildly different, enough so that suddenly this isn't going to be allowed or that's not going to be allowed. And I guess that's the boat everyone's in.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it's unlikely that at some point we may see some way more strict restrictions on what people are allowed to do in the next month. I think it's very likely we're going to see some very heavy-handed rules coming down.
Yeah.
Temporarily. I don't think this is going to be the start of worldwide shutdown, but permanently. But I think we're going to see some temporary restrictions that we've never seen before in our lifetime.
Oh, and what's it like actually where you are? Is it pretty much shut down where you are anyway?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Where you are specifically, Is it quite shut down there already?
Actually, just this morning in Denver, pretty much all of the bars and restaurants are now closed for the next 8 weeks.
That's a long time. 8 weeks.
2 months. There's, you can. A lot of restaurants will still be open, but only for pickup and drive-through.
Oh yeah, of course.
There won't be the ability to sit in the restaurant and eat your food.
It makes sense. It seems to be the common theme across most countries, anyway. Okay, so let's talk about V then, 5. How was the writing and recording process for the new album? Did you do anything differently this time round that you particularly noticed?
I'm sorry?
When it came to the writing and recording process for the new album, did you do anything differently this time round?
Well, versus the last record, we revisited an old mindset that I had when writing Time Is Up, which was to really streamline the songs for the most part and try to trim the fat and make everything a little more tight and concise.
Okay.
That was not, a completely new idea, but it's something that we didn't necessarily do on the last couple of albums. So there was that, and we made a big effort to make sure that the three melodic voices, meaning the strings, the bass, and the two guitars, we made it a point to have those not playing the same thing all the time.
Okay. What prompted you to want to go back to that mindset this time round?
Well, it just felt like the right thing to do.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of longer, epic songs, and we wanted to create some more compact rocks to be able to throw at everyone's face.
That makes sense, because my next thing was going to be, you've always had a bit of an attitude in your music, it's always been there, but this feels particularly ramped up in V5. Was this a cathartic experience for you?
Yeah, for sure. Every time I get to like unload my brain into a song form and get it out into the world, I think it's incredibly therapeutic and a healthy way to get out some aggression and to speak my mind in a well thought out way, where I'm sure that what I'm saying is what I want to be saying. So that doesn't always happen in a conversation.
No, you often find people paying way more attention to your statements if it's coming via lyrics or in a musical form.
Yes.
So it's quite important for you then to have Havok kind of making these strong statements, would you say?
Yeah, for sure. There's enough bands singing about the devil and shit like that, so I don't find that I need to add to that particular thought genre.
What do you kind of say to people then who kind of say, oh, politics and metal shouldn't mix?
That's fine. I mean, art is wonderful because it's so open-ended and people can create art about whatever they want. I would not rush to say that artists should or should not try to make social statements with their art. It's completely up to them. That's a beautiful thing. But, often people will call us or ask us if we're a political band, and I normally respond with, I don't think we're a political band. I think we're an anti-political band, because we're not trying to feed one side of the story or one or the other. We're kind of saying that both sides of it are bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I would certainly see it as ultimately, with your songs, you're not so much picking a side, as you say, more highlighting the negatives of both sides, as you said.
Yeah, often in the songs I'll highlight the negatives, but then try to spin some sort of a positive or some sort of a idea on how to change it. I'll try to sneak that in there, so it's not all just a total bummer when you listen to our music.
That's good. I like that. So would it be right to sort of say that this new album, it's kind of like you metaphorically pushing the panic button in regards to worldwide problems?
Yeah, I've been doing that for a long time. It's kind of pushing the panic button, but also with a, hey, there is a way to make this happen without everyone falling into a giant pool of shit.
Yeah. Do you think that, I mean, from your perspective, you must feel like that comes across strongly then, because your previous body of work, it always seems to have resonated incredibly well with fan base. And I see no reason why this new album won't do the same too.
Yeah, that's good that people are actually paying attention to the words, because not everybody who listens to metal does. And that's fine too. I think the music is awesome as well, even if you ignore every word that's coming out of the front of my head. So, yeah, I mean, if people resonate with the messages of the songs, I think that's a beautiful thing. And I hope they continue to do that, and hopefully they're not turned off by the things that are being discussed in the songs. For the most part, I think our fan base is very inclined to listen to what we have to say and think that it's maybe something worth repeating or something worth taking to heart. I think it's few and far between the people that think our lyrics are really stupid, and that's good. It seems like a lot of people are take the messages of the songs kind of more seriously and realize that we're not just talking about the devil or killing people or shit like that. It's a little bit more. I don't want to. I really don't want to fucking sound pretentious, but
yeah,
the lyrics are maybe a little more conscious, maybe a little more
relevant,
big, more relevant, and just thinking about bigger picture ideas than a lot of other metal bands.
No, I think that's
not to put ourselves on a pedestal. There's plenty of bands that are doing very similar kind of thing.
Absolutely.
I think that's great.
There's enough. It's the importance, particularly in the style of music you choose to play. Relevancy is quite a big deal, I think, now anyway. Musically, also, like the new album, it has a refinement that perhaps hasn't been as strong on previous Havok releases. Do you think this time round it's just a matter of the band perfectly gelling together, you're all in the right mind space to create this, I guess, almost ultimate distillation of your sound?
Yeah, this album was more collaborative than previous records, I would say. The other guys contributed quite a few ideas to the entire piece of work that's on V, and I think that it made for really strong results. And keeping in mind that, hey, we want stuff to be streamlined, but let's take these cool ideas and try to mold them into a compact, efficient, strong package. I think that's the reason that the songs come across like a spear in your face.
It definitely seems like you cut a lot and you've kept the best of what you were able to produce out of these sessions.
Well, thanks. I hope other people take notice.
Oh, I'm sure they bloody better. Okay, so thrash, it's like a never dying genre of metal, and in the last decade, it's seen a bit of a resurgence. Do you guys feel part of that?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of the older bands, some of them in the next 5-10 years, maybe more of them are going to go the way of Slayer and hang it up. It's uncharted territory. There may be some of the classic thrash bands that stick around until they're fucking 75 or 80 years old. We don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a very physically demanding kind of music to pull off live. It's not like you're playing blues or playing Rolling Stone songs where you can kind of just like stand there and head. Like, a lot of the entertainment in this kind of music, I think, comes from the live show and watching people kind of freak out on stage and really like get into it. I think it is a big part of the fun and the excitement of the genre. So we'll see what happens with the old guys possibly bowing out gracefully, but whether or not that happens, like, we're here to fucking pick up the slack when these voids are created, because I love this kind of music, and it's what made me fall in love with music, and it's what gets my adrenaline pumping and makes me excited to get out and play it live. So it's largely responsible for the direction of my life. Thrash metal music is. It's largely responsible for the direction of my life, and I don't want to see the art form die. So that's why I started this band, and that's why this band will continue to kind of play in the vein that we do, because I don't see a lot of other genres of metal really going anywhere. But when this band was started, there weren't really a lot of like newer thrash bands. It kind of popped off when we put out our first record. There was a lot of other stuff coming out at that time, but when I started, like, very early, I wasn't able to really find many other bands that were like us. True. That were our age. So my plan is to keep the torch in hand and keep marching forward, because I don't want to see this art form go away.
well, you already see it now. You go to a Havok show and you will see 50-year-olds alongside 20-year-olds all wearing their battle jackets and hair flying wild. The bridge in thrash, more than any other, it's not massively wide. And I guess, do you see that? Do you notice that? The wide array of age groups and styles and sex and at your shows?
Yeah, definitely. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
If we can appeal to young kids and older people, I think that's really, really good and says a lot. Because I don't want to be in a band where only old people are into us, or conversely, where only young kids are into us and all the old people are like, fuck that band. I don't want. It's good to be able to put out our net and catch all of those different age groups and mindsets.
Nope, I agree. Right, last but not least then, I mean, we've already kind of touched upon this, but ultimately you're a band that never sits still for long. Provided we are all allowed out of our houses by time the album releases and further along than that, the plan is clearly the rest of 2020 and 2021 just touring, right? Getting out there as much as humanly possible.
Yeah, that's definitely the plan. We'll be touring a lot on this album. We feel like a lot of these songs were really crafted for the live show. And we'll have a lot of new music to be out playing. And right now, you know, the band's bigger than we've ever been. So hopefully we get some good crowds into the venues, and maybe we pick up some cool tours opening for other bands, because we love doing that too.
Yeah. It's a matter of, at this stage, watch this space. Big things will happen when they happen.
Of course, yeah, it's impossible to say what's going to happen, but the only thing I know for sure is that we will hit the road as soon as it makes sense.
Perfect. David, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate you sitting down with me. I hope, stay safe, and I hope everything works out better for you in where you are.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks a lot for taking the time.
Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com, as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/GBHBL, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?